Hi everybody, let me know if my sound settings are okay and everything. Let me know if the music's too loud, if you can hear me alright. Hi Liz! Hi Andy! Okay, you can hear me. Can you hear the music okay? Are my levels good? Music is quiet. Okay, I had turned it down real low. How is that? You don't hear any music. Oh, now you do. Okay. Better? Okay. My mic is peaking a little bit. Okay. Let's get started. I'm gonna turn. Are you on mobile, Liz? Because usually there's like a 15-second or something delay on mobile. Ooh, that's gonna be interesting. Okay. So. Oh, weird. My laptop is sometimes a little bit behind. Oh, just bad internet. Oh, that too. That'll do it. Okay. So I don't really have anything for like the channel to work on. I mean, like I could make emotes and stuff. But I did get a commission from our very own Liz, who's in chat. So I've been really wanting to work on that. All last week I was busy doing a design test for a job interview, so haven't really had time to do much personal artwork. So I wanted to work on this commission for Liz tonight. So I had already gotten the lines, or not the lines, the sketch done. And so now I'm just working on the lines. Why on this account, Sammy? Because this is where I do D&D streams from. This is my D&D group's stream account. So sometimes I do a little bit of artwork on it on our little show called Art at the Inn. Usually I'm working on like stream assets like overlays or emotes and stuff like that, but tonight I thought I would work on this commission because it is for one of our members of our D&D streaming group, and it's a goblin, so it's kind of ish themed. I'm doing good. Ovalon, how are you? Do I know this goblin? I feel like I know this goblin. I have done artwork of this goblin before, so if you look at my stream channel's overlay, or if you look at my Twitter at all, at Supsika, then you will see I've done a past commission of this goblin before. So now where I'm doing like a big comic like splash page of the first time that she's kind of transforming. She's a goblin magical girl, and then she is kind of like bursting energy out at someone. So yeah. It was the best thing I ever spent money on. Oh, thank you, Liz. That's an honor. Yeah, so I've already done the kind of sketchy layout. It's going to be kind of like 4 panels. So the first panel is kind of them like starting up the attack, and then kind of like the movement into the attack, and then like a big final, like big be gone kind of thing. So I've been kind of just working away at the lines for it. which I wanted to go like super, since it's kind of like a more comic booky thing, I wanted to go like super graphic with it. Really tight, intense lines. Oh, thank you, Sammy. So yeah, how are you guys all doing today? Oops. I gotta change that to match. Oh, that is not the correct color. Haha. So when I'm doing like really tight lines like this, sometimes I will do kind of the technique that you probably see a lot of people do, where they try and like get it all done in like one fell swoop with one just like line going. I sometimes like to do that, but sometimes I'll also just go through, and if I didn't get something exactly right, then I'll just go in with the eraser tool. I don't like sit there for like 50 times trying to get the line just right. Doing very well, practicing one of my sign language lists and heading to bed soon. Oh, thank you, Sammy. I hope your Swedish sign language is going well. Have you learned how to do Activera in Swedish Sign Language yet? I'm also working on my iPad, which I've been kind of using a lot more. So usually for like big like illustrative pieces and stuff like that, I use my Cintiq, but for more like graphic stuff lately, I've been using a lot more of the iPad, because it just gets those nice crisp clean lines. You and Blaze talk very similar in your enunciation. Is that because you live in the same state, or is it because you hang out all... I mean, we have been together for what, like 11 years now? So and we've mostly lived in we grew up together pretty much. I moved to the same area as Blaze when I was about 11. So I have a slightly different accent. I've got more of a Michigander accent because I grew up further up north, a little bit more towards like Canada. But Art stream, hey Jay, what's going on? We're doing a Goblin for Liz. Ugh, this line. This line. Not doing what I want. I'm gonna turn my streamline up just a little bit more. So on Procreate, they've got this setting called Streamline, and basically what it does is it kind of makes your lines a little bit cleaner, a little bit more easily. It's not cheating, I swear. A good smells like a barf. How did you know? Yes, of course. It's our good sweet Gobbo. Yeah, Jay, I'm doing a whole big page. Not just one, but 4 smells like barfs. I was really excited when Liz asked me to do this. I love this character. I feel like this is too wide. She's kind of a tiny thing. Ooh, that's too thick. I think I had it like at 15. There we go. And like that. Ugh. How are you doing today, Jay? Oops. Come on. I have to go to work tonight. I don't want to. Aww. That's a bummer. Isn't it Labor Day? Shouldn't you get the day off? Come on. Oh, okay. Yeah, I wasn't quite sure how that worked with you. Working overnights. Always kind of screws with things a little bit. I actually had the day off the first time in like 5 years. I got Labor Day off. Holy crap. Congratulations, Liz. I hope you got to chillax today. Blaze's computer was kind of acting up last night, so this morning we kind of were stressing out. Very luckily we have a good friend, Jordan Jones, who is a tech genius, tech wizard, computer whiz, that helped out, so feeling much less stressed now, just chilling, listening to some lo-fi. Doing sweet gobbo, girl. Oops. Started working full time, so they didn't want to pay me holiday pay, time and a half. I was cool with it. Yeah, I totally feel that. Congrats on getting full time also. That's awesome. But also, bleh, more work. Who wants that, right? No, she needs another eyebrow, doesn't she? She may just need another eyebrow. Congratulations on the mixed bag. That is full-time employment. Yeah. I for sure want a full-time job, but it's also like, bleh, then you have to work, right? It's like, yay, money, boo, work. Exactly. Oh no, all my time, where did it go? I am for sure, like, tired of feeling stressed out about money, though. If only I had time to spend all this money. If only, right? Hey, Cybernetic Sloth, what's going on? Yeah, I'm working on this big splash comic page commission for Liz in the chat. My good pal Liz. It's her Goblin Magical Girl Smells Like Barf that I've done like a full illustration of before, and Liz has a little comic that's written around her, and so I'm drawing one of the pages from it. She is wonderful. She's super, super cute. I love her. Hey Mojave, what's up? Haven't seen you in a hot minute. How you been? Hopefully you're okay in all the California fires right now. Not much aside from the fires here in California. Yeah. Yeah, California's currently on fire. It's not cool. I can't get that. I wonder what makes the minute hot. Oh. I wonder. Oh my god, yeah, the gender reveal thing just is like, come on, guys. Like, first of all, just like, if you're in California right now, maybe don't do anything that involves any sort of like fire, explosion, anything like that. Just like hiatus that for a while. Like, especially after there was another fire, was it in California or another Western state that was started by a gender reveal party, like, gone wrong? So it's like, maybe let's not. Arizona, that's what it was. Thank you, Liz. Yeah, like, maybe let's chill it with, like, explosions at the gender reveal party. Oh, okay, so this is like the third one. Come on, people. I hate that line. At least my state's fires have nothing to do with gender reveals, just good old-fashioned fire. Just good old-fashioned people setting stuff on fire. Does your state get a lot of wildfires and stuff, or do you just mean like people like making campfires and stuff like that? Colorado is very often on fire these days. Really? That's unfortunate. You never hear about it, or at least not here. We only hear about California mostly. I wish my home would stop being set ablaze. It's just doing what the rest of the world feels, for sure. Yeah, we just get tornadoes here. Whee! I saw that the city that I used to live in Japan had the possibility of a super typhoon hitting it. I was like, ooh, glad I'm not there. I think it ended up dodging, but the weather here is so wonky. It was 95 here yesterday, and now it's 72 with 90% humidity. Ugh. Both of those sound awful. We get firestorms, earthquakes, and the occasional giant thunderstorm. Yeah, I saw that, like, somewhere in Ohio, I think Cleveland, is getting, like, a huge storm right now. They had, like, cloud to ground lightning. I understand, Jay. I get up to 110 here in Sacramento. Blech. Blech. Parts of my state that aren't on fire are under a freeze warning. Really? At this time of year already? Wow. Wow. Climate change is scary. I mean, here in Indiana, we like, and if anybody has watched the HGTV program Good Bones, you would also know that the weather changes on a dime here. So Indiana weather always been like that. It's always been very like I think we had one day when I was in college where it went from like snowing and like 40 degrees to like like 80 in the matter of like 8 hours. It was crazy. Welcome to the Rocky Mountains where the weather's made up and the forecast doesn't matter. Yeah, that's what it feels like here in Indiana. It was lovely here today. I'm being told to sit down. Yeah, get out of here, Andy. You and your good weather. It wasn't terrible here today. It was a little bit hot, but when I went to go and get food earlier, I was able to roll the windows down, which is always nice. But I'm definitely ready for the fall. Usually this week there's a giant food festival that's in the town where I live at. And that's usually kind of what most people gauge as like, that's the week that the weather changes, because it'll be like at the beginning of the week you'll be like standing in lines for like the food stalls and stuff like that, and you'll be in shorts and a tank top and still too like hot, especially with all like the body heat and stuff around. But then by the end of the week it'll like rain all week, and then it'll be cold and you'll be in your like fall jacket by the end of the week. So hopefully it starts cooling down here soon. They obviously weren't able to have that festival this year, but they did have like some of the food booths were like set up on like corners around the city, and so then you could go and like get the food that you would usually get. So that's kind of cool, but I was like, I want hoodie weather too. Jay, yes. I can't wait for fall, the season in general. So we hopefully get rain and have one less problem to worry about. Yeah, for sure. I love hoodie weather. Like, I really like being able to wear like a hoodie and then like shorts or like lighter pants. That's like my favorite weather. Yeah, let me wear a cardigan all the time. Hell yeah. Cardigan for life. Oops. I want to wear my plaid shirts again. Hell yeah. I'm a big fan of all of these clothing options. What does our collar look like again? Oh, I don't have it drawn in. I gotta look up my reference. Okay, that's how I did it. Okay. Oops. Hey, Demonica, what's up? How do I do line art as good as you? Oh no. Well, I am using a brush with like 30% streamline on it, so that definitely helps a lot. But I don't know, practice. I don't know, I don't usually do like super clean like line art like this unless I'm doing like emotes, I guess. But emotes, it's like bing bang boom and then you're done, you know. This is, I don't usually do like a lot of like super clean line work on something bigger like this. But I thought that it fit the style of it, so I am pushing myself to do it. I used to do a lot of super clean lines, and then I was like, it just takes so long to do, and I like painterly style. So then I kind of stopped. Because I really want to go for like I always call it like a young adult like comic style that's like got like the super bright colors and like stuff like that. So I feel like that fits very well. I was working on a drawing for someone and loved the sketch, and as soon as I lined it, I teared up because I hated it. Oh no! Oh. Have you ever tried, I know that Audrey does this sometimes. I do it sometimes too. Have you tried doing like a second sketch layer, like on top of your sketch and then going into the lines? Because like sometimes that really helps. Like I've considered that on some parts of this where I just like really quickly sketched out like the body shape and stuff, and I didn't really go into like figuring out the like the details of like the clothing or anything. Sketching on top of a sketch on a new layer. Yeah. Like doing like a clean sketch. Because sometimes, because you make a lot of like decisions, you know, when you're moving from like a sketch layer to like a clean drawing layer. Like right now I'm having to make a decision about like how I want this like color to be and stuff, because I hadn't really like sketched it out. I had just kind of like sketched out how I wanted like the body shape and like the movement and stuff to be. So sometimes that can kind of help, is doing like a second sketch layer to kind of like make those decisions before it's like a final thing, I guess. Or final in quotes. I know a lot of artists will also do like a clean like line layer, like I'm kind of doing now, and then they'll go over it again, which seems like crazy to me. Oh, Soup, that reminds me, I made some major big choices in my life. After all of this is over, I'm gonna move out and decided to go full-time into game development and animation. Awesome! That's great! Congratulations, Mojave. Very cool. Very cool. I think that that's a great decision. I know that that's something that you've been kind of toying around with for a while, so that's really cool. See, everybody's being supportive, but obviously you made the right choice. We're very supportive here at the Laughing Dragon Inn. But yeah, people that are coming over from the Big Dogs Discord, so usually on this channel, when I'm not doing lovely artwork, we are doing D&D shows, so you can see our times listed there on the side of the overlay. Yeah, we've got a couple of pretty great, I think, campaigns going on. We run 2 simultaneous games on Wednesdays, So we've got two groups, one called Task Force Unlikely and one called Star Chasers. And so one Wednesday will be Star Chasers, which I'm a part of that group. And then the next Wednesday will be Task Force Unlikely, which Liz and Jay, Liz Horan and Metalwork Pegasus in the chat are part of that group. And then Laughing Dragon Inn, the Laughing Dragon Inn account is our DM. So you can check those out. I think that they're pretty great. And then we also have monthly games that run on Mondays, and then just like random Monday streams like this one, or sometimes our DM will run through like new systems or create like NPCs or go through like creating homebrew settings or like stuff like that. So we got some pretty good content. And then sometimes we also do Sunday mornings. So thanks everyone. It was a really tough decision, but I ultimately made the choice to do what I love and drop out of college to do it at least conventional college. Oh, sick. Are you doing like a like an online, like a boot camp or anything like that? Because that's like the one thing that I will say about animation is like, oh, why did my music cut? That was weird. Oh, YouTube, what are you doing? I might do some classes for programming at some point. Oh, okay, cool, nice. Yeah, because with like animation and stuff like that, like a lot of it is just like practicing and then making connections. So you're already kind of in the right area to be making those connections and stuff like that. So yeah. Gary with the cum, will he shoot? Oh no. It'd be really great if you had the Chava emote, because then you could have her on the other side of that gun. I think that would be perfect. And then later animation, Alcad is supposed to be good, and a lot of my friends went there. Oh, cool. Very nice. Yeah, I know a lot of people spend a lot of money to go to the big fancy animation schools, but I also know like you hear like plenty of stories about people in animation that are like, I never went to school and I'm fine. Everybody's on their own journey that takes them exactly as much time as it needs. I still need to bring that line in. Hell yeah, awesome. I'm excited for you, Mojave. Yeah, I definitely like I ended up taking 6 years to complete my degree, and then still couldn't really get a career in my field because I studied animation in college, and most of my peers from my program ended up either working in like advertising or they ended up becoming teachers. So and that's just if they didn't move out to California and like make connections and stuff like that. And I just really couldn't afford to just like drop everything without having a job and move out to California. So that's how I got involved in more of like UX design and stuff. And plus, like, what I wanted to do was more of like concept art and stuff. I wasn't like super into doing like the actual like making stuff move part. I was more into the pre-production side of it. So like even when I did 3D, I really was more into like texturing and stuff like that than I really was into like modeling was fine, but I really wasn't that much into even making like 3D models move and like stuff like that. Like I can do it, but it just wasn't something that I was super like passionate about. And if you want to be in like the production side of animation, you really got to be like passionate about it. Not that there aren't some people that aren't as passionate about it, but like I definitely feel like it helps because it's a really tough industry. Oh, modeling is just fine, is it? I'm glad that people like you enjoy it, Jay, so that I don't have to model things. I was also not very good at modeling. Like, my proudest achievement I made in 3D modeling was we had for my texturing, one of my texturing assignments, we had to do car paint. And so I had finished the previous assignment early and had extra time to work on my modeling and stuff. And so I was like, sick, I'm gonna do something really cool then. Instead of making just like a regular ass car or whatever, I made a light cycle from Tron and then put a car paint texture on that. And I was like, hell yeah. That's my proudest modeling achievement. I made a B-sized hat because chat demanded it. And you throw shade at me? I'm not throwing any shade at you. I'm throwing respect at you. Respect for the B-sized hat. Respect for your skills and being able to model things, because I'll show you my modeling work. It's not very good. I know, but fake outrageous funny. Very true. The bee hat was very cute. Jay, I want you to do more 3D arts at the end. I liked waking up on Friday mornings and chatting with you and that. That was fun. Yeah, that looks better without any lines in there. Screw in with it. I'll come back at some point. I just needed to not be in 3 games. For sure, for sure. Yeah, this was very conveniently on. I had just finished up a really big design test for an interview last week, which really hoping that I get this job. Um, but it basically took me all week to do. So, since today is a holiday, I know that they weren't like gonna be getting back to me about it today. So I was like, I've got time to do art at the end today. I knew I wasn't gonna have any kind of obligations or anything. Bees! I love all the bees. I love all the NBs. The NBs are my favorite. I did want to get my hair shaped today, but I haven't gotten to it yet. Maybe later tonight. Fresh. Should be back. Am I back? Hello? Can you see me? Woo! Okay, now I've got to reset up. My internet went out, so I'll reset up. What's going on here? Why is it not capturing? Why is that window not back? Oh, no. I don't want to do that. Shoot. No! I don't want to do that. Stop. Okay. Hold on, I've got to get my art set back up. Oh, that's right. I've got to do this. Haha. There we go. Got it back. I figured it out. Woo. Woo. I'm a pro, guys. I've figured it out all on my own. Now is my playlist gonna be like, yo, you went offline. Oh, yep. Let's see. Let's go to this one. Oh, nope. There we go. Okay. I am the most professional. All right. So, as I was saying before, I need to make this eye somewhere in between kind of like half squinting and like open up wide. But since you've got, so like the animation part of it, since it's kind of like a snap open, I want it to be closer to being half closed than it is to being like open. If that makes sense. See, kids, understanding how animation works can help you with your still images also. Using that education. Oh, I was like, what did you type, Jay? And then I read it in my head again. Yeah, your education. Yeah, actually, if you go to my art portfolio website, I do have some of my 3D work up on there. It is solidly okay. It is not anything very impressive. Totally works. Still some scrunchies around the eyebrows. What's neat? It's looking really good. Oh, thank you, Liz. I am very pleased with it myself. Oh, hi Toki Debug. How you doing? Wow, nice. Thank you. Working on a commission for Liz in the chat. I like that you gave them such creative names as Wine on Counter. Yeah. You can tell I was real creative with that. But yeah, you can definitely tell that I am not the most confident modeler in the world. Confident or competent. Aw, well thank you. I haven't touched a 3D program in like years though. I had there's a guy that was at the time he was a grad student, and now he's an adjunct at the university that I used to go to. And he recently started Twitch streaming, and he was like, oh, have you done anything in 3D lately? And I was like, no. I haven't touched Maya in years. Which I thought was funny because he was always much more of like an After Effects person. He used to do like crazy like puppet tool stuff in After Effects, and still does a lot of like just absolutely insane stuff. He's Animate Zach on Twitter and Instagram, I think. You should definitely check out his work because it's like super cool. Oh, Soup, I wanted to ask you, how is working with Maya? Maya is a fickle bitch, just like Photoshop. No, I like Maya. It's fine. It's just like 3D stuff is kind of frustrating sometimes because like sometimes stuff will break for like no reason and you just have like no idea why it's broken. And sometimes it's just like Maya just decided to like not work for some reason. So that's why I find the 3D stuff like kind of frustrating. Yeah, Blender is also fickle bitch. Yeah, I think that all 3D programs are just kind of like, they work when they want to, not when you want them to. But I would definitely used to get like you might hear a lot of people complaining about Photoshop that it'll just like randomly crash because it was trying to autosave your files or like some bullshit like that. Maya is very much the same way. Maya just crashes because it feels like it and you don't get a choice. So sometimes it just won't render things. Why? It just didn't feel like doing it right then. Okay, I'll give you a minute, Maya. They work within very specific parameters and they work fine, but they do not work intuitively. Exactly. I think that's a very good way to put it, Jay. A much more intelligent way than me just being like, it works when it wants to. But yes, I would totally agree. And I know that Mira on our channel, who also does some 3D animation stuff, Birds and Nerds on Twitter and Instagram. She also feels very similarly. How much we are at the end was, where is the scene coming from? Yeah. I felt your struggle in those moments. I was like, oh, I know that feel. That's why I don't really use, like, well, besides that, I have a whole rant prepared about Adobe's pricing program, or pricing points. That's why I really try to avoid, like, using, like, Photoshop and stuff. I've very much switched over to Procreate and Clip Studio Paint. Because I don't want to use a program that's just gonna decide it's just not gonna work on me. Especially since I started taking like commissions and stuff, I just can't afford to, and like working on like anthologies and like stuff like that, I can't afford to lose the time that a crash inevitably takes up. And I don't think that, like, knock on wood, I've never had crashing issues with CSP or Procreate, so reliability in a program is a big thing, but I understand with 3D there's not really really a way around that. All of your programs kind of also like kind of just like work that way. Photoshop works sometimes. TM. Yeah. Photoshop, pay us $30 a month for a program that maybe works. Maybe we've moved the feature that you're looking for to another program. Adobe, what do you mean you don't like all the bullshit we do? Exactly. I don't like the way that's going. It's too long. Like, my argument is just kind of like, CSP does everything that I would want to do in Photoshop. It does everything I would want to do in Illustrator, and it does everything that I want to do in like Flash, or like, I guess they've called it Animate now, Adobe Animate. All for a one-time price that's usually on sale for at least 50% off. And it doesn't crash, and it loads up in like literally 0.2 seconds versus the like 5 minutes that it takes Adobe to boot up. Like any Adobe program. So but I am generally aware of how to use Photoshop because it is an industry standard. Although thankfully, like with my UX design stuff, UX design has moved away from using Photoshop because it's just not intuitive to use Photoshop for something like doing website design. But I did have a design test earlier this year that they were like, we absolutely want you to use Photoshop. And I was like, really? Okay, I guess so. Which literally like 8 hours of the like maybe 24 hours total that it took me to do that design test was me trying to save it in a format that didn't look like shit. Because Adobe likes to compress all your shit and then it looks bad. You mean the field of study designed to make things intuitive has moved away from an unintuitive program? Who could have seen this coming? Oh, thank you, Mojave. I was just about to take a drink anyway. Yeah, it like blows me away that people would have even used like Photoshop for web design. I mean, I guess it makes sense, but like, I don't know, because like the program that I use now is comparable, I would say, to like Illustrator. Whoa. Because it's more of like vector-based design, which makes more sense because, okay, so if you don't know the difference between like vector and raster-based design, so vector-based design is for digital products, and it's basically when it scales so that it doesn't cause any pixelation or anything, or anti-aliasing on the edges of whatever it is that you're making. So that's why a lot of your graphic design is done in Illustrator, is because Illustrator is a vector-based program. Raster-based programs like Photoshop are for print stuff. So like that's why Photoshop is a raster-based program, because it is meant so that you will print that stuff out. It's not necessarily made for web products. You can do web products in Photoshop for sure. People do, people do digital illustrations and photos for the web and stuff all the time in Photoshop, but technically that's not what it's necessarily designed for. It's meant to be printed out. If you're doing something for both, then you want to be using more than likely a raster-based program. I can tell you raster has a cool name, and it means pixels, where vectors are made of maths. What's a math? I instinctively did a dab. Thank you, Andy. Glad I'm not the only one dabbing on. Oh, made of math. Oh, okay. I gotcha. I'm not down with the cool hip lingo of the kids. But yeah, so those are kind of the differences between those two different types of programs. So that's why it's like kind of surprising to me that it was, until actually pretty recently, a pretty common practice for people to use Photoshop for web design. I thought you had an education. My bad. Obviously, my education isn't a high enough level. Oops. That went the opposite way that I wanted it to go. But very thankfully... Oh, hey, Super Rico! What's going on? Or you can drop out like me. Hey, nothing wrong with dropping out, to be honest. School is not for everyone. And I don't believe in... I know that in my area where I live, there's a lot of emphasis on, well, you have to go to college. That's... Why would you not? And I think that that's kind of a destructive... This is my hot college take. I think that that's kind of a destructive attitude to have, because there are definitely, like, plenty of disciplines and career paths that don't require a college education and shouldn't, to be honest. Why is this arm very weird? What did I do? What did I do in this sketch? What's going on? I thought it was for me in the beginning. Now I eat everything from convenience stores. But see if they can't make money if you don't go to college. Yeah. Yeah. That's the big issue that I have. Is it kind of just feels like it definitely much more feels like it's a money-making machine than it is necessarily like in the interest of getting people into like the position that they need to be in to go into a career. I do like college, and I did like my college experience and stuff for the things that it did expose me to. Like I had never worked on like a good drawing tablet before, and I definitely made like friends and like connections and stuff that and got exposed to like an atmosphere of like working in like a studio and stuff, and those stuff are kind of like invaluable, right? But like I could have probably spent less time doing that, and I definitely took a lot of like classes that like did not like and do not help me at all now. I don't regret going to college at all. It definitely gave me something I never experienced before. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm trying to express, I guess, is like I definitely find that my college experience was valuable. Was it as valuable as what I paid for it? Maybe not. In all the years that I spent on it, because I transferred. My plan was to do the go to like a local college for 2 years and get all of my basic classes out of the way, and then transfer to a bigger university. But which I did do, but unfortunately for me, because I was stupid and like 20, I didn't do enough research on and hadn't really decided when I was like 18 and making this plan what university that I eventually wanted to transfer to. So a lot of my credits didn't end up transferring. Not specifically like my gen ed classes, but I basically, like, the university that I ended up transferring into required you to do like this 4-year plan for the degree that I wanted to do. Just stupid. And so they wouldn't let a lot of my like art credits and stuff like be comparable, which is ridiculous, but I do blame myself a little bit for it, because it was like, well, I didn't do like the pre-work ahead of time, right? To like, it's stupid that it is that way, and I didn't realize it when I was 18 making my plan, but I definitely could have planned it out a little bit better. So I ended up going to school for a little bit longer than I would have wanted to, but got to take some interesting classes. Unfortunately, to stay on insurance, had to take like a full load those whole 6 years instead of just being able to take like a couple of classes, which was kind of a pain in the ass. But college is so expensive. Yeah, it is. My plan was to transfer to university too, but disabilities kicked me in the ass. Oh, yeah, that's unfortunate. No, you need to take our version of these classes and pay us for them. Yeah, the biggest issue that they had was the art program that I ended up going into required you to do a lot of, like, even though it was an animation course, they still required you to take a lot of like art courses, and they had like prerequisite art courses that you had to take, and those were a lot of mixture of 2D traditional medium and 3D traditional medium. So like they valued drawing classes just as highly as they valued doing like sculptures as part of like your fundamentals art classes and stuff like that, which the original university that I went to, the local one, didn't see those equally. Their fundamentals classes were a lot of like life drawing and critique classes, and not they were like, oh well, you'll once you get like your fundamentals out of the way, which was like I said, a lot of life drawing and stuff, then you'll move on to like your specialty, which for me was illustration at the university. But if you wanted to go into doing like a sculpture class, or they had like jewelry making, pottery making, like stuff like that, then you would get into that specialty later, after you had gotten out of the fundamentals. The university that I transferred to was like, no, you have to choose like a lot of those things, and like 3D is going to be part of the fundamentals because you're going to be going into doing like jewelry or sculpture, or like I took a glass blowing class at that university, alongside all of your animation classes and your 2D traditional medium also. So yeah, so I didn't have like any 3D stuff going into this university that was like, you need 3D stuff. So I could get credit for the fundamentals class that was 2D traditional medium, but not for stuff that required like knowledge of like sculpture and like 3D stuff. So it was kind of a pain in the butt. One of my friends in college took a religion history class where the professor created a specific textbook cobbled together from several other textbooks they made the students buy, and was only available at the school. And she couldn't resell the book because the professor changed the class every semester. Oh my god, Liz, that sounds like a literal nightmare. That's so stupid. I had a professor that did something like that, but it was like a printout, like a 20-page like printout, and they had a printing shop that was like just off of campus that like all the teachers like use and stuff. It only was like maybe like $12, I think, or whatever, but like, man, that printing shop made like bank off of teachers doing shit like that for their classes. It was like a 100 level class. Oh, that's doo-doo. Excuse my language, but that's doo-doo. I totally had a professor like that. Oh no. Yeah, I think the one that made us go and get the printout thing, it was for, pretty sure it was for Japanese, so it kind of made sense. Because he had opinions about the way that we should be learning that language. Krista does her best to make it as affordable for students as possible. There are several other professors that don't get it at all. Yeah, my art classes were definitely very expensive. The glass blowing class that I took had I think it was either $300 or $500 class fee to be able to take that class, which the glass teacher very much wanted me to switch majors to glass, and I was like, I don't even know what kind of career that you would do with glass blowing. I know that there's gotta be, but like, I just couldn't like envision it, even though it was a fun medium to work with, and I'm very glad I took the class, but it's just like, I don't think I'm gonna switch my major to this. Thank you though. But I had this one teacher that she was the head of the art department, and she hated animation students, which was really detrimental. But she had this very long list of like essential art supplies that we had to have for that class, and they were like, I mean, like specific brands that she wanted us to use. Like, it wasn't even like, oh, this is stuff that I've got lying around or whatever. She would be like, no, if it was not this specific brand of charcoal, you cannot use it in my class, which is absolutely ridiculous. But there was another there was a local art shop that was like just off campus that she like basically forced us to order through, so we didn't have like a choice of like getting like more affordable prices or whatever, because she was like, this is the most affordable price that you're gonna get. And it was like, I feel like you have like some kind of a deal going on with this art store. Art classes that have a class fee and then don't cover your materials, the best. Luckily the glass class did it was understandable because it paid for the glass and like the ability to use like the furnaces and like everything like that, and so it was at least understandable. But yeah, I definitely had some like drawing and painting classes and stuff that had a class fee that didn't cover the materials, which is ridiculous. Buying college textbooks at your school store helps fund the college. Okay, I thought that's what my tuition was for. Yeah, for sure. Oh, dude, the worst in any type of school are is teachers or professors that will put certain students down for a certain interest. Like, don't get into acting, all actors are bad people. Yeah, it was more of like, so the animation program at my school was new. When I went there, it had only been around for like a year or two before I entered. And so it was kind of, I feel like the art, the head of the art department at that college wanted us to be put into either TCOM or into like computer sciences or something. I don't think that she wanted us to be a part of the art department, because the stuff that they needed for animation was really expensive. And art already has a lot of like really, really expensive equipment that they need to. So it's kind of like, I get why you have like this grudge against the animation department, but like at the same time, like maybe don't take it out on the students. Because she would be like, because I took a drawing class, she taught drawing with some of the other like people in my animation group, and she would be like particularly harsh, I noticed, on us as like compared to like people that were drawing majors or even in graphic design and like stuff like that. And I was like, okay, like it's kind of a dick move. looks kind of weird. Oh. Thank you everyone that's hanging out in chat tonight, by the way. So we got 8 whole people hanging out. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Really appreciate you stopping by. Checking out what I got going on. I think I might end up moving that arm. Hell yeah. Art's looking good. Oh, thank you, Rico. I might wrap it up here in a second. I don't know. I'm kind of at a point where I feel like I need to look at how my anatomy is going on this one panel. See if I need to end up moving this arm over. I don't know. Oops. Okay, emails. Yeah, I think I need to move that arm over. Or it might just be too small. What did I do? I don't know. Let's give it a try. Oops. Oops. Clear. Yeah. I think. I think something more like that is what I was going for. Okay. See how that looks in the big. Yeah. Yeah, that looks more anatomically correct. Excellent. That was an easy fix. This looks like a really big project. Yes, it is. It's a big 4-panel comic page. Which I was like, hey, what if I did really clean lines on that? But I know that it will look awesome if I do it this way, so. But nothing but the best for Liz. Is this an OC? So, Demonica, this is Liz Horan in the chat, who is a part of my D&D group that's the Laughing Dragon Inn, is my D&D group. We do streams of our D&D games and other TTRPGs. It is Liz's character. So she commissioned me to, she's writing a comic about a goblin magical girl named Smells Like Barf. And so I did a character illustration of her before, like a full body character illustration of her before. And so this time Liz wanted to see what a full comic page out of the story that she's writing would look like. So I'm doing one of the scenes from that she asked me to do. It's Sailor Moon, but Goblin. Yeah. She's a sweet little goblin girl, and I love her dearly. I love the idea. Hell yeah. It is a very, very good comic outline. I've read it, and I love it. So then drop that shoulder down because like the other arm is being lifted up more. Yeah. And then the back side of that puffy sleeve will be coming up like that, but the shoulder is dropped. Correct. Something like that. I think if it ended up being more a comedy of errors than a straight Sailor Moon knockoff. Yes, I would agree. Very, very much agree. I super loved it. I'm gonna do a little cheatsy. Do copy and paste, and then flip horizontal. Tee. wanted to say earlier, I love this goblin girl. Hell yeah. Yeah, if you want to see the full illustration that I did for Liz before, on my Twitter, she is the very center of my banner, and then my pinned tweet, my Visible Women pinned tweet. Also, I believe it's the second picture. Yeah. Is her full portrait. She does her best to spread love and joy to everyone. Not everyone appreciates her brand, though. Yeah, I always love Liz's... Oh, thank you very much, Andy. I always love Liz's instructions for her, because she's like, I want her to be, like, really, like dirty and, like, patchworky, and, like, I love it. I love not the, like super clean, like pretty, like aesthetic to her, which is very fun, because like usually a lot of like the portraits and stuff I do are very like beauty shot, like, so it's a very fun change of pace for me. Liz always gives me really great instructions. Like, we were trying to figure out how the panels should be kind of like displayed and like worked out and stuff like that, and Liz made this adorable little drawing that like totally helped me like see like, oh, okay, I completely understand what you're thinking now. What's going on? I don't know why the stream is being a butthole. Why are you doing this to me, internet? I don't know. That's my little song. I hope you enjoyed it. Discord hate plot. Yeah, I'm not on Discord. I do need to get like a, because I'm streaming from my Wacom tablet, because my Wacom tablet doubles as a PC essentially, and I don't have an Ethernet connector to it, so if our Wi-Fi gets wonky, then it'll cut my stream. I've been looking into getting an adapter though, so it doesn't currently have a USB slot, or not USB, an Ethernet slot, and I've been looking for an Ethernet adapter for that. And I think I found one that will hopefully work, but I gotta check the specs on it. Because, of course, conveniently, my tablet also only has USB-C. Earlier today, I lost internet randomly, so I went to do something in the yard, and I saw a Comcast employee on a cherry picker looking at a wire and just shrug. So that instilled me with confidence. Oh no. Oh. Yeah. I've got some horror stories about Comcast if we want to get into that. I used to live in this apartment building when I was in college that their wiring was from like the 80s, And they had made a deal with Comcast back in the 80s when they were first making the apartment complex that Comcast would update their wiring when needed for free. And then when it came time for it to actually be updated, Comcast was like, we never made that deal with you. For very obvious reasons of like, that's a very expensive thing for them to do for free. So it was basically like the apartment complex was like, well, we can't afford to like have the whole complex rewired, so I guess everybody's just gonna deal with this. And so it was basically like you'd basically have like Comcast trucks like lined up in the parking lot of this apartment complex that we lived in daily, dealing with people's internet, because it was really bad. It was like old wiring that like when it got like cold and stuff in the winter it would contract, and then when it got warm it would expand, and like both caused issues. Yeah, I can't wait until fiber internet becomes more of a thing, because we had fiber when I lived in Japan, and I love fiber internet. It's so fast and good. Oh, okay, my playlist said to pause.
Listen to music with your screen locked. YouTube Music Premium.
No.
Start a 1-month free trial.
I don't want that. Thank you. Okay. Oh, my opacity was set to 0. Ooh. Okay. That was weird. Okay. My internet is being weird. So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up a couple minutes early here, guys. Thank you everyone for joining. Thank you everyone hanging out. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate you stopping in and chatting with me while I work away at this beautiful, beautiful art piece here. Yeah, so this Wednesday, I don't know that we have completely nailed down what we're going to be doing here on this channel. But yeah, definitely we'll be back next week with more D&D streams here on the channel, so check it out if you're interested. Other than that, I hope you all have a great night. I had a great time talking to y'all. And I'm gonna try and do something that we don't usually do on this channel. I am going to try and raid someone. So let's see if we can do that. Let's see if I can figure out how to do it. In this economy, with this prostate, I don't think so. So we are going to raid a little guy called Dr. Ryan. And I hear that he is playing some Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2, the new one that just came out, and having a bird appreciation night. So you should go and check that out. Yeah. So let's see if I can do this. Did I do it? Did I do it right? Oh, I think I did it. Oh my goodness. Have a good night, everyone. Hope you had a great time.